Hi everyone and welcome back, and in this video we are going to baseline our repository, our services and all. Before we do it, I wanted to talk about what all tools we are going to use. Let's say I'm using GitHub or GitLab. So in the GitHub we can use GitHub Actions to set up our CI. So we'll be using GitHub Actions to write CI. I will make it a little larger. Okay. And the repository, now you already know we are writing microservices, so either we create one monolith. Obviously we are not writing monolith, right? So we'll not even talk about it. We have multiple services: order, checkout, user, auth, and all these things. So we are going to have many services. So what is the best approach nowadays? This monorepo concept is widely popular and I'm using it since a couple of years. In monorepo you can put all your services inside one repository. It's really not a monolith. Your projects will be independently handled through monorepo. The only thing is it's providing you the automated way of testing all the projects, running the build, running the common command across the project, providing the dependency of one library into other separate projects. Let's say I created a reusable typings, reusable library which can be used across services. I can create that as a monorepo package that can be shared across all different package like npm repo, right? Npm module. Let's say I created a data chart module and publish it to npm, and then I am using it in my multiple projects. But if I wanted to have the same setup locally, that means I don't need to publish and I'm still using this data chart library across my different projects. I can do this with the help of monorepos, and there are many monorepo tools. So first of all, GitHub Actions, and we are going to use monorepo concept, and we can use many tools for that. So there is a Lana and there is a PNPM workspace. So there is NX and PNPM workspace. I mean, I know there are different tools available, PNPM, and there is a Bit. Bit is also popular in different world, and then we have other tools like NX, PNPM workspace, NX, and then Rush. Rush is some monorepo tool, because all the big organizations, even Google, Microsoft, all are using monorepo to manage their code. I think there are 10 to 20 tools I have heard about. Lana is one of them. For now we are going to stick to use Lana, and then there is, I think, one system provided by Google which is Bazel. This is provided by, I think, Microsoft. This Google. Okay, we don't need to worry about vendor who is giving them, but this is a kind of setup we have. Okay, we are going to use Lana to set up a monorepo for our microservices, front end, back end, the libraries and everything. So now consider a scenario. First of all, why we need it? First, we need to understand what we are currently doing. Let's say I create a separate repositories. Okay, let's say I'm using GitHub. This is my front end app. I will create these boxes quickly. These are like my different repositories. This is, let's say, front end. This is, let's say, back end, and all of these has their own independent CI system, continuous integration system, and they are being deployed as a Lambda, or being deployed to S3 bucket, or being deployed to Netlify, whatever, right? Everyone will have their own code base. If I wanted to create a library, let's say this is the library I'm creating, where I'm just putting the TypeScript typings of my services, which can be exposed and can be used by the front-end library or front-end system. Or let's say I created a common utility helpers. Currently what I will do is I will publish this to npm remotely, so that the other projects can add this as a dependency, and then we have to do npm install here, npm install, npm install, npm install, in all the projects whenever you want to upgrade, right? So doing the npm install in 10 different folders to run the whole system, because in the microservices we have many microservices, front end, multiple front end, multiple microservices. It's like I'm doing the same thing across all different folders one by one. Can we automate it? Can we make things more easy? Like I'm writing a utility and I'm not deploying this, I'm not putting this to npm. What I want is I just have a monorepo. This is really a repository. So it's a auth microservice, let's say. This is order. This is cart. And I am using some monorepo tool and I wrap everything inside this. So what will happen? With this help of monorepo, what you will have a package.json at the root. And you will have a pnpm workspace.yml if you are using pnpm, nx, or whatever the tool you are using. And then you will have package.json of these dependencies. Like, okay, I have this service, I will have its own package.json. Package.json, their own dependencies. And this auth and utility and typings are some of the packages which we are going to use across every application. There are some common utility tools I have added. So what I will do is I will put the dependency of typing in the package.json of cart, package.json of order, package.json of auth, and I can easily locally can consume the library and the typings provided by utility or any other modules. You can define the interdependency, right? This is what the biggest advantage. And we don't need to do the npm install everywhere, because the workspace is this monorepo tool will be automating things. Okay, like I will have some command npm run build. What this system will do is it will run this command across all the packages or all the applications I have in the system. Similarly, I can have npm run lend, npm run test. All these commands I will have that will automate and will be executed across all the packages I have in the system. Okay, now there are many questions in our mind. Why should we start using monorepo? First of all, obviously, for the whole system, I don't want to maintain 10 different repositories, right? If there is a possibility, I'm building a Uber Eats clone, I can put all the typings, all the utilities, all the common modules of Nest.js in one library, like common authentication module, common type-orm module, common logging feature in one module, one library. Because what we are doing, I will create a package, and that package I will create as a library. I draw this. This is kind of a library. And this library can be used across. I will put the dependency of this library in this project, in this, and you will start using it, right? They will have their own package.json. You will have build command, like these are the TypeScript packages. You will have build command, test command, clean command, all the basic linting commands everywhere, right? So from monolith to we started using microservices, and to manage the code we started using monorepo. And there are many tools. Larna, pnpm workspace is really popular. For now we are using Larna because Larna is also now being managed by NRWL, that is the same organization which is managing the NX. Okay, I mean all the big organizations are managing their code base through the monorepos. There are many advantages using monorepo for the large scale code base. First of all, is shared package can be used to multiple applications locally. You don't need to publish the package to the npm remote so that you can do npm install AG chart. You just create a reusable lib package and start using it locally. Second, it improves the collaboration across code bases. Teams working on different projects can improve the code bases from the teams without working on multiple repositories. It's a one repo, everybody knows what is in the repository. Yes, if there are 5 teams, individual repositories can be owned by 5 different teams. It's not like, okay, If one team is committing, it's going to republish all the packages. We can control all those things. We can control the dependency. If let's say utility or the lib I'm updating, then I can also update the version of the lib across all different projects. Okay, so how to create a monorepo? Simple is we can use Larna. After all the going through these different tools, we can just create a monorepo by just looking into some tools like let's say Larna. Okay, we'll just see the Larna's documentation and try to understand. npx Larna init, it will give you some basic setup. And let's say get started. npm annex init Larna init. I will start using these commands, and then you can also clone this sample example, and you can see this is the Larna.json will also gets created. If we see latest init, this is a package.json which has a Larna, and this is the Larna dependency management. Workspace is defined inside all the packages, and these are the dependencies. Let's say one application is dependent on another. Let's say the header footer are the applications. You can add the dependency of header footer inside Remix app, right? So what is the dependency? Remix app is dependent on footer and header. And if you want to build all the project, what you will do is you will just create this command npm run build, Larna run build. It will execute the build command across all the packages. Okay, so what we will do is first we will try to just play around with the simple Larna setup, and then we'll create our baseline packages.